Hi guys, welcome to Simple Programming. Before we move on and create our first Eureka client, let me give you a brief intro about microservices. We have been building monolithic applications till now. That is everything about an application in one project. Now, what is the disadvantage of this architecture? If I have to change something in the customer profile logic, which does not have any impact on the ordering logic, I need to build and deploy the entire application, which is completely redundant work. Microservice helps you to remove this tight coupling of entities. You can have individual services running on their own with their own databases. If you want to change something, you can change it in that service and deploy it individually. Pretty cool, right? Then what is the difference between a service-oriented architecture and a microservice? You can say microservice is a subset of service-oriented architecture. Here are some of the advantages of microservices. You have smaller code base, easy to scale, fault isolation, that is process failure in one microservice should not bring the whole system down. Independent deployments, deployment time will reduce. Then when would you choose a microservice? Think about the system that you're building. Do you need to scale your system vertically, means increasing the memory or upgrading to a better hardware, or you are going to scale it horizontally, putting together multiple instances? And there are many factors associated with the decision to go either monolithic or microservice. In case of a microservice, it is a good practice to decompose the domain for microservices using domain-driven design pattern. It helps you to understand the design in depth, and you can decompose various entities, define your aggregators, bounded context, and you can define your context maps, etc. Although it looks super cool, there are some disadvantages you have to live with it. Some of the disadvantages in microservice are data redundancy. Converting a monolithic to microservice is a very complex task. Starting from scratch is much easier. Microservice architecture is very difficult to debug and trace. Integration testing becomes super complex. You need to have individual teams that own individual or separate microservices. Multiple teams cannot work on the same microservice. They can agree on the component that multiple teams can work together on, but microservice should be individual per team. This architecture is easily mismanaged and misarchitected if you don't follow the right procedure. Well, in some cases, hybrid also might work. So the decision whether a microservice or a monolithic has to be carefully made. In our next video, we are going to create our first Eureka client service.